Hi, Wes Allen with DM Tales, and I'm going to do something a little different for this video because my wife and I are out in Gettysburg for our 28th anniversary, and I'm standing here at the base of Culp's Hill at Spengler Spring, which is a actual spring that provided water for soldiers of both sides of the battle during the three-day confrontation. And this is the Union left. And because the topography played such a huge point in the battle, I thought that would be kind of cool to tie it into how we design battle maps. Nothing profound, but some interesting insights and just to show why these things are so important. Let's roll it. Before I begin, I want to thank everyone who has done the whole like, comment, share, and subscribe routine for any of the videos on this channel. It really helps the channel out and I appreciate it. I know a lot of YouTube creators are getting swamped this month because YouTube has changed the algorithm again, so all of that really helps. I also want to shout out my coffee contributors who support the channel out of the kindness of their hearts. If you'd like to contribute to the caffeination of this channel, the link, well, that's right over there. And if you're looking for some fun hoodies and t-shirts to wear, check out my DM Tales merch shop with designs like this fancy call to adventure featuring the channel motto, roll some dice, worlds are waiting. This is the top of Little Round Top. And kind of is a good example of why using terrain in your encounter maps is a really good idea. So I don't want to discount what actually happened here. This is what took place on the second day of the battle here in Gettysburg. A lot of people died here. This is where the main regiment had their famous charge down the mountain that you can see, or down the hill that you can see in the Gettysburg movie, dramatized pretty well, even though it was, dramatized for Hollywood. But on the second day of the battle, you had Confederate forces trying to march up this to attack the high ground and get into the Union rear. And you can go, well, that's not that bad, but I mean, look at the briars and the thorns. Didn't entirely look like this at that point. Just down there you can see Devil's Den, which is one of the bloodiest points of the battle. But can you imagine being up here and being able to look down there and, Anakin's or Obi-Wan's statement about having the high ground, we all make fun of it, but there's something to it. Not when they can jump 40 feet in the air, but in general, there's something to having the high ground. All right, so you're up on top of Little Round Top and you're like, well, it doesn't look that bad from up here. And it's kind of the illusion of being on the high ground, which is why it looks so great. That's Little Round Top. It's pretty steep. Sorry for the sun. It's in a terrible position for what time of day it is here. And that road goes all the way up to it, which of course did not exist back then. From there, you have a view of a good portion of the battlefield, and this is I believe it's the Union left. So you can see elevation matters when you're in some kind of tactical situation, which is something that we should remember when we're doing our battle maps. I'm going to travel to one of the most interesting features on the battlefield, or just walking towards it right now. If you've ever seen after battle photographs, this is one of the most photographed areas because it's just haunting. And this feature is basically a glacial formation that people talked about as being where the devil lived. So it's literally called Devil's Den. And it changed hands a lot of times during the battle. But I'm going to show you why. And one of the reasons why I find it so interesting for this video is because one of the things I put on my battle maps, and I'm not a big battle map guy. I don't make incredible maps. I'm very utilitarian. But one of the things I constantly put up are big glacial boulders. And that's because they're great for elevation, and they are terrific hiding spots and places where players can, set up defensive positions and draw enemies to them. And here's what Devil's Den looks like. Going up, and it's just this glacial formation of all these rocks. There's hiding spots. Can't really get to them now because of the weeds. I've actually never been here at the height of summer. Maybe once a really long time ago. But there's all these crevices that you can climb in up there and hide. I'm going to go up top. I'm going to go up the stairs. You can see, again, here's another example of elevation being important. you're at the top of the stairs and you're coming up to attack, that's pretty rough. Put some steps in your battle maps. Little crevice in there where people can hide. I have to change the recording of that. So you can see if you are a bandit, you were wanting to set up an ambush, very much could be hiding down there and spot the road, pop up on top of these boulders, and great ambush there. If you see boulders in your map assets, put them down there. And even if you just do minimalist maps, got some good stuff going on. Just walking down Devil's Den, and someone had the exact same tripod as me. You might be able to hear him. I thought that was actually funny. I was like, great tripod. He's like, hey, Amazon special. And it really is. All right, I can't get up there with these shoes on, but that's basically one of the cave entrances. It's really cool. Here's another one of the cave entrances. Check for ticks there. Okay. That's, you cut that out, the little bit of sky out there, and you have a nice little cave entrance. Who knows what lives in there? Who knows what lives in this whole formation? So that's Devil's Den. Pretty interesting place. I actually think I want to try to make something like that in either Dungeon Draft or I can't even think of my stuff right now. Arc Forge. I think it would be a lot of fun. So I'm gonna take a look at doing that. But you can see, man, you put some boulders on a map and you can terrify people and make for some really memorable combats. So you're making a battle map and you're looking for just a little something to make things interesting, and you're like, well, what could a fence do or a little low stone wall do? Well, take a look at this place. So you have this low stone wall, maybe a foot tall, maybe 2 feet tall. Why is this important, and why is it you think, and excuse my shadow please, but why do you think this is such a big obstacle? Well, it's because this is where Pickett's charge in the Confederacy died. This is the high water mark of the Confederacy, the angle, just right over here. Pickett's charge got to this wall, just a little bit over it, and got pushed back. The high water mark of the Confederacy. And again, there's just this low stone wall. But when you look up, that was the defensive position, and it was enough to stop a massive assault. You can just see that open field from behind me. So your players are having to attack. And, you know, our battle maps are mostly small. So not half a mile or a mile, I think it's across. But, you know, even 60 feet they have to cross, getting peppered by spells and arrows before they can actually attack the enemy, before they get to just that little rise there. They charge towards this. Again, the sun's pretty bad right now for what I'm trying to video. It's actually not like noon yet, but it's just high enough that it's creating a lot of white out in the sky. I'm not sure if they put that fence where there was an actual fence at the time, but if you look, just that little stone wall, that little rise, and it's not even really that high of a rise here, that's where the Confederacy broke. So if you're making a battle map and you want to give people an advantageous spot, or you want to give your players some difficulty getting across, give them a little something like this. All right, I'm standing on top of the Culp's Hill Observation Tower. This is from the second day of the battle, or the end of the second day of the battle, or end of the first day of the battle. I forget which one it is, but this is the Union left, and had somebody pressed an attack, Gettysburg would have gone a completely different direction. So this is actually a great spot to observe a good part of the town and seeing where the Union had retreated from on the first day of the battle. It's really kind of cool. And this kind of ends my videoing here. So for coming up on the channel, you can see my hair is really breezy as I knock my glasses off. But coming up on the channel, I am almost done my Dreams and Machines. I have got Ironbound and Star Trek Adventures coming up after that, and a whole bunch of other stuff. Got some interviews coming up as well. Looking forward to bringing it all to you. And until we see each other again, folks, happy playing, everyone.